Hello everybody. I believe it's April 25th, Saturday. And we have some sunshine for today, at least, so I hope you're all enjoying that. Got a request for some chest openers, so we will do that today. Alright, so you need to have a chair, any kind of chair will do that has like a hard surface here. Your blocks, hopefully you have blocks, a few blankets, and then a belt. Okay? A wall. I hope you guys are able to practice near a wall because it's really helpful, especially when using the chair like this. So take your hands and you can wrap your fingers downward on the chair like this, and my thumbs are forward. My thumbs are facing the wall, so I have a good grip on the chair. And I'm just coming into downward facing dog. If you would prefer to do this just straight out on the floor, of course you're welcome to do that. And I'm reaching back with my hips, reaching forward with the arms and the chest. And I'm bringing my awareness now to my shoulder blades. And I'm pressing the shoulder blades onto the back and breathing deeply. And then I'm going to swing forward, bend my elbows a little bit, get my chest through, and come to upward dog. Back to downward dog. You may have to fiddle around with your feet a little bit to find a good distance. Inhale, upward dog. That bend of the elbows is important. And then you re-straighten. It helps you to get your chest through the arms a bit more. Downward dog. Please don't hold your breath. Inhale, upward dog. Broaden your collarbones. Downward dog. One more upward dog as you inhale. And then you can either go back to downward dog from here, or if you want to try, bend your knees. Stay in a little back bend. You land on the floor and you come right into a modified Ustrasana, and then up, and then a modified Ustrasana, and up, again, Ustrasana, and up. We'll go through that one more time. So I take my hands here. Now I'm coming from this kneeling position. You can tuck your toes underneath. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Urdhva Mukha. Bend your legs if you can. Land down on the floor. Transfer your hands to your buttocks. Arc back. Ustrasana. And up. If you want to go to full Ustrasana, be my guest. Ustrasana. And up. One more time. And up. Okay, spin your chair. Actually, no, don't do that because not everybody has this kind of chair. Edit that. Come closer to your chair. Everybody hopefully has an edge of the chair here. The back of people's chairs is varying height. So, all right. So now the thighs or the pubic bone, or however tall you are and how tall your chair is, something is up against the chair. My shins are pressing down. If you have tight ankles, as we've said in previous videos, you can tuck the toes underneath. If you want to have a blanket underneath your shins and knees, that's fine. So here, I'm going to arc back, and I'm not letting myself leave the chair. And that's a big deal for a lot of us. Don't leave the chair. One more time. Back and up. Downward dog, tuck the toes, and walk back again. Make your breathing the most important thing for right now. And then walk forward and make your way up. Okay. I'm just putting that to the side for now. And let me take a little blanket. I'm going to come into Parigasana. Okay. So either side. You don't always have to start with the right side. So take one leg out to the side. Inhale your arms up. Exhale. Parigasana. Keeping the chest as open as you can. Breathing. And then coming up. And we're going to do a little bit of almost the opposite of Parigasana, and I think I just might need to move over a little bit to do that. So my outstretched leg is in the same position. Instead of going over that leg, I'm actually going to go the other way. So I bring the arms up and I come down and I take this hand on the floor. It's the bent leg hand that goes on the floor. This shin may turn in a little bit. It's not a big deal. You take the arm up here. I just so happen to be touching a wall. Wasn't necessarily my intention, but it feels kind of nice. And now I'm on the toes of my outstretched leg. I'm not sure if you can see that. The whole foot is not on the floor, but I'm on the toes. And then what I do is I take that outstretched leg and I bring it back behind me. And I'm working at getting a stretch through the side body. You should feel something over here, maybe down even into the hip stretching. And then you bring that leg back, come back up, and we'll do the other side. So here's my classic Parigasana. Breathing, opening up the bent leg side body, and then coming into the opposite. So I bring that hand down, this leg goes back now, I'm on the toes, and I keep reaching the extended arm out, and this back leg in opposite directions. And you can turn your waist and chest up. Get a big stretch through your side. And then bring that back and inhale and come up. Okay. Go back and get your chair. Put your chair at the wall. I'm going to take a little extra height to sit on. I'm going to do Bharadvajasana, turning toward the chair. So my legs are in this Bharadvajasana position. The feet are in that direction. And I have this chair to turn toward. I think I need to move forward a little bit. So I'm just using the chair and essentially the wall for some leverage, but the chair gives me something to grip on here. So I'm pushing with this hand, I'm pushing with the back hand, and I'm giving a slight pull with the front hand. And I'm backing off as I inhale. And I exhale and I go a little more. Inhale, back off a little bit. Exhale, go a little more. Inhale, come back. Exhale, go a little more. Turn your head the other way and then release. I'll turn around. You guys have to turn around too. And we'll do the other side. So, just have that one buttock supported. And now you push with this hand. Pull with the other one. Inhale, back off, release. Exhale, go a little bit more. Inhale, release. Exhale, a little more. Inhale, release. We'll do one more time. Exhale, a little more. Turn your head the opposite way. And then release. Okay, similarly, Mrichasana 3 with a chair, by a chair. Okay, so you get pretty close in, and you'll figure it out. You see how I'm fiddling around a little bit? It's because I want to have this room over here to be able to grab the chair sort of at an angle. And I want the chair here, I don't really need that. I want the chair to hold this shin in place. Some of you guys have the shins that like to just flop out to the sides. This is really helpful for that. Okay, so Mrichasana 3 is turning toward the bent leg, unlike Mrichasana 1, and also unlike Bharadvajasana that we just did, which is an open twist. This is now a closed twist, so it's a little more challenging. So I bring this back hand, the bent leg hand behind me. I reach this arm up and I grab for the chair. I inhale, I back off a little bit. Exhale, go a little more. Inhale, back off. Exhale, go a little more. Inhale, back. Exhale, again. Turn your head the other way. Release. Okay, we'll do second side. So you want to sit, I guess, up toward the front of the chair here, so you have this room for the other arm to go back behind you. Okay, you're nice and close in so that the shin and the outer thigh really are being held up. This arm goes back. This arm, you can almost do like what we did before, a little bit of that Parigasana move there to the side, and I reach. Exhale, inhale, release. Exhale, go. Inhale, release. Exhale, go more. Inhale, release. One last time, exhale. Turn your head the other way. And then release. Back to that blanket in a sec. Go back to your downward dog. Okay, with the fingers down and the thumbs forward. Even out your sides. Let yourself move with your breath. Not that it has to be so dramatic every time, but you don't have to stay static in any asana. There's a lot of movement going on. A lot of movement going on internally
And the bigger you make the breath, you see this big inhale that I do, filling up the back of the lungs. And I exhale, and that's fine. We don't want to do that every single time we're in an asana, this big, poofing out. But for sometimes it's a good practice. All right. Shalabhasana now. Using a chair. I'm going to give you a couple of options, I think. Again, depending on the chair that you have at home, if you're with your dining room chair, some chairs have something like this across the back. Some don't, all right? Some chairs you can get through from the back. Some have, rungs here where you can't get through. So watch what I'm going to do. Work with what you have. If none of this works, do regular Shalabhasana, just on your belly with your arms back or forward if you can manage. All right, so what I have to do is I have to move back here because I want my hands, I'm not gripping with my fingers, you see? I want my arms to be fully extended. And the palms of the hands, the base of the hands just on the rung of the chair if you have. Otherwise you could do this. Right? Otherwise you could even put your hands on blocks, that would suffice. Alright? And I reach my legs back. Probably can't even see my legs here, but I reach the legs back, everything we know about Shalabhasana. I press down, I roll the outer arms down, and I just come up a little bit. Just a little bit. Move your tailbone down toward the floor. Extend out through your big toes. Come down and release. Exhale, press again. So you should feel your back muscles kick in a bit. The buttock muscles, the leg muscles. The feet are pressing down on the floor. I'm not letting my feet come up. And release. Okay, now, we move in a little bit. Go a little bit deeper. And I bring my hands up here. Okay? This is big on the shoulders, obviously. If this isn't going to work for your shoulders, you bring your arms back behind you. Okay, and I press down. And I lift up. Breathe. Keep the feet pressing, keep the inner thighs going up, the lower back as long as possible. Exhale, release. Press, inhale, go up. Make sure, it's very tempting to lift the head up like this. Make sure that, caught myself doing it. Make sure the back of your neck is long. Press down with the pubic bone into the floor. Take the buttocks to the heels. Release. One more time, go up. So you're not jamming in your lower back. And release. Okay, you can rest your head to the side on your hands if you'd like. Just take a moment. And then come on up. Okay. So I'm going to use 2 blocks because I know it works for me. You can experiment with different things here. I'm going to put 2 blocks like that. And I'm just going to have a seat in front of my chair. And it would be ideal if the shoulder blades if the chair hits you right at the bottom of the shoulder blades, right where we want to arc over in something like Dvipada, that place where we can move. If you happen to be shorter in your waist, sitting up on a blanket can help with that. Okay. If you're too tall, not too tall, if you're too tall for the chair to fit you, and it's down here somewhere in your lower back, just do something else. You can lay with block like on the shoulder blades. I don't want you to pinch your lower back, okay, those of you that are tall. So my legs are stretched straight out, and I take my hands here and I lift up through the base of the skull and I just gently arc back, okay? Now I know that this particular height works nicely for me because I've done it before. Okay, so 2 blocks, you can see, I'll get my arms out of the way hopefully. 2 blocks, it keeps the back of my neck nice and long, right? You may need a block in a blanket or something other than what I have. And then I take my arms up. And I feel the edge of that chair right below the shoulder blades. And the chair, it's a strong feeling. It's metal or a wood chair, whatever you have. It's a strong feeling. And just try to breathe into that. Breathe into that flexibility that can come to the thoracic area. And then if you have a chair that you can grab onto, so I'm easily touching my wall here. I can feel my wall hooks there. And what I do is I walk the hands down and I grab the sides of the chair. Okay, may or may not happen for you guys. All right, I move the elbows toward each other. Toward each other. Very important. And then I release. And I just come up. Okay? What we want to avoid with the arms there is if you're reaching back, this is similar to Gomukhasana. When we do Gomukhasana, right, you want the elbow to be as toward the midline as possible. And it's not about what your elbow's doing, it's more about what's going on in the shoulder joint. So if you're out here and you're reaching for something, say that chair there, and you can't find it, it's like the arm bone is coming out, hopefully not, but moving out of the shoulder socket. We want to keep our joints intact, right? So even if you can't reach the chair, move the elbows toward each other. If you're super flexible, don't take that too seriously and try to get your elbows to touch, because that'll cause a problem on the back of the shoulder joint. So this is where having a teacher in front of you helps. But you guys have been practicing a long time, most of you. You know who you are. You know who I'm talking to. All right, now you're going to do the same thing in Baddha Konasana. So, Baddha Konasana. And I'm going to take my hands again, base of the skull, and I elongate there. So nice and long in the neck. Again, you can have a pile of blankets here. You can have, I don't know, a couple of couch cushions, whatever works for you. So now you can leave your hands down for a moment. And what I did, if you didn't see, what I did was I gave a little bit of a squeeze of the shoulder blades toward each other. So that helped me to open my chest more. And breathe. And then if possible, you take your arms up, you arc back. That's going to lift the shoulder blades up again. It's going to bring them up toward your head just by taking the arms up. That is perfectly fine. You can touch your wall if you have there, if you can reach. If you can touch your wall, you slide your fingers down the wall. Try to find the outsides of your chair. Move the elbows slightly toward each other and pull your arm bones down a little bit. And then release your chair, release your arms, and you can push yourself up. Okay, same thing one more time. This time in Upavishta Konasana. Okay, so I take the legs wide. Again, you can squeeze a little bit like that, you see? You squeeze so that the chest lifts. This time I didn't take my hands to the base of the skull. This is another way of doing, right? I know that that block is there. Now I know the height of it. Right? I can reach the arms to the sides. Take the arms up. Trace down the wall. Find your chair. Nice deep breath. One more breath. And then release. Okay. Next one you can do with crossed legs like this, or you can come more toward the pose Paryankasana, which is a bit deeper on the knees and the hips. We did knees, hips, and ankles last time, so you'll know if this is a possibility for you. Okay, I sit in Virasana. If you need more warm-up for your knees or anything like that, you get to a point in a video, any video, not just mine, and it's not working for you, or you're like, oh, I can normally do that, but I need like 5 minutes of prep time for my ankles or my knees. I think that's actually kind of the beauty of not doing live classes, is you got a pause button. So you can pause and you work on, okay, my knees need to be open a little bit. I have to make friends with them first before I ask them to sit in Virasana, and then you restart. Okay, so I find this here. I'm gonna move forward a little bit, and I find that edge of the chair again here. Okay, so this is more like Paryankasana. You can take the arms up. You could hold your elbows here if you really wanted to feel like Paryankasana. And open the chest. And again, we want this to go up into the upper and middle back. If you're feeling this in your lower back, you can try scooting. You see what I'm doing? I'm scooting the buttocks forward a little bit to make a little more length that way. It may feel a little easier when you do that. We're a little more targeted where we need it. Back bends in the lower back are not bad things. Switch the grip of your arms. They are just kind of the end of the line as far as where back bends go. Like, in other words, they're much more difficult to do, and inhale and come up, to do an appropriate back bend. Down here, a lot of us do back bends from down in the lower back, and then we pay for it the next day or in the upcoming week, whatever, which is why we focus so much on getting the rib cage to move and the intercostal muscles between the ribs to open up. Go back in again. If you're sitting with your legs crossed, switch the cross of your legs and go back in. So it's just that old rule again of making flexibility where there is none or where there is little, and making stability where there's too much mobility. If you look at all of asana like that, you'll have a pretty good practice. Inhale and come up, at least I think so. All right, stretch your legs. Might take a little doing to stretch your legs. We were there for a little while. Okay, back and forth a couple times. Okay. And let's get rid of these. Now I usually put a mat on the chair for this. I'm going to try with a blanket though. Because I think you're going to want a little bit of padding after that. You may have been like, well, I wanted padding all along. Why didn't you tell us to begin with to put it there? All right, so what we're coming into is Purvottanasana. So my legs are bent, my feet are on the floor, the feet are pointed as straight forward as they can be. I'm moving my feet to a place where I can have leverage, okay? Because I'm not gripping with my hands, I'm squeezing with the elbows, and I go up and back. And then you can move your feet as needed so that your knees feel comfortable. So the only part of me that is on the chair is from my shoulder blades and up, right, toward my head. And I lift the pubic bone up. I'm letting my arms hang. I'm getting a stretch across the pecs. And I'm also using the buttock muscles, using the hamstrings. After a couple of moments of being here, the core starts to engage to hold you up, which is a good thing. Lift your tailbone up. Couple more breaths. And then slowly lower down. So I squeeze the elbows and I lower down. Stretch your legs. Okay. And then I think that's it for the chair. All right. Take your blocks. Take your belt. Lie on your back. I'm getting ahead of myself again. You got your belt now, so you're set. Bring your legs in toward your chest. Jatara Purvottanasana. Back and forth. Nice and easy. Let your head move with you. One more time to each side. And then come to center. Now take your belt. Take your right leg up, extend your left leg out. Hold the belt in your right hand. Open up the back of your knees. Take a deep inhalation. On exhalation, bring your right leg out to the right. Inhale, come up. Put the other leg in the belt. Okay, open up the back of your knees best you can. Left leg to the left. Inhale, come up. One more time to each side. You switch. Some say that that's the lazy way of switching the belt on the feet. I say it's efficient. Economy of movement. Inhale, come up. Last time on your left side. And make your way up. You can bring that leg down. Hug both knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. You can make circles with the knees. And circle the other way. Make your way all the way over to your side. Come into child's pose. Legs a little bit closer together than when we do Adho Mukha Virasana. That's too high. You may need a little something for your head. With the legs together, it's a little harder to get the head on the floor sometimes. And bring your arms back. Let the lower back be round. Breathe into the back body. And then make your way into a more traditional Adho Mukha Virasana. And make your way up, back over, onto your back, and take Shavasana. Just organize your limbs. So that nothing is going to distract you. And just feel how the breathing just naturally begins to slow down a bit.
And then take a deeper inhalation. And one by one, you can bend your legs. Roll over onto your side. Couple breaths here. And then using your arms, you push yourself up. And just have any comfortable seat. Take a moment with your eyes closed, just sitting up as tall as you can. And observe the state of mind. Observe your breathing. And then you can just gently open your eyes. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.